Will it be? Alright, we're underneath of a 2000 Viper RT10, getting ready to pull the transmission for a hydraulic clutch slave cylinder. First thing we need to do is remove several of these 15mm bolts to get this plate off here, access the transmission. This little cover here, don't know if you can really see it that great. And yeah. Alright, once you get all the covers off and everything like that, you will access the wiring harness for the transmission. Just go ahead and unplug it here, pull it off the frame here, and then that way when you pull the transmission, you can pull all the transmission wiring harness with it. You don't have to worry about unplugging each individual sensor or switch. Next thing I'm going to do, the hydraulic connection for your slave cylinders right here. You must have a special tool to release this line. You see this white collar here, you must push it inside the slave cylinder with this special tool here. Push it in like so, and then let's see. If you look at the inside of the new slave cylinder, you can see all those little bitty fingers in there. That's what that white collar depresses. And it'll allow you to slide the line out, and it's just as easy as that. Alright, next thing I'm going to do is take out this huge drive shaft. Oh yeah. All you got to do is take loose these 4 8mm bolts and you probably have to pry it out, and then make sure that you stick a plug. What I do with them? Such as these plugs here in the transmission output shaft of the where the drive shaft went. That way you don't lose any of this high-dollar synthetic fluid, because we really don't want to drain it or lose any, because the thing's only got 13,000 miles on it. No need to change it. So be sure you got one of these so you don't spill fluid everywhere, all over yourself, make a mess, lose it, yada yada. Alright, now move the cross member bolts, the through bolts, one here, then you got the mount bolt, or the nut that's under here. Now, before we remove that, it's extremely important. Since we have such a long ass V10 engine here and the motor mounts are at the front of the engine up here, we need to support the rear of the engine and the transmission before we pull that cross member out, because what's going to happen, you pull the cross member out, all that weight's going to be on the motor mounts, and this whole assembly's going to want to tilt downward toward the rear, and you could, I don't want to risk tearing nothing up on this car. So when the transmission's out, make sure you got your engine still blocked up in the back. You try to use a wood block on this aluminum oil pan. Hate to see you put a stand through the bottom of the oil pan. And keep on trucking. Alrighty, once you get the cross member out, all that good stuff, you got your tricky part, which is next. I've already got it removed. This is your shifter shaft, the bottom of it. It threads into this shifter bracket, this golden piece here, and it just threads into it, and it's got this flat 18mm flat spots on the bottom of it, and you need to use a crow's foot such as this. It's the best way to get it off. Put it on a 3/8 extension and wear it out, and it's pretty snug, so it is fairly difficult to get off. Now, the beauty of this T56 transmission is, hang my light up here, this is your bell housing, and this is your transmission. Bell housing splits from the transmission, and since I'm just doing this slave up in here, all I need to do is separate the transmission from the bell housing. The bell housing can stay on the engine. So, you take out your perimeter bolts. I believe there's 8 of them. Take your perimeter bolts out, and you'll be ready to back the transmission out.